Hey everyone, and welcome back to episode 48 of the Boy Oh Boy Way podcast. Another week this week without a guest, but we'll be going through the world of sport and everything to do with sport in the world, and also Supercoach side, how that went. That'll become a weekly thing now. Let me know if you want more videos on that, and yeah, let's get right into it. Rightio, jumping into my weekly rank, how I went for the week. Really good week for me this week. Could have been better though, but still, 2,405 in the top 6%. Really pushed my season rank up. I went up 10,000 spots in the season ranks and now averaging 2,351, and I'm in the top 6% also for the whole comp. And I got one league win, which was nice. Jumping into the side when it loads. Here we are. Starting off in the defense, Jaden Short was really solid. Gen of us didn't really give a care of the world watching this game. He really just racked it up and no one really went to him. Matt DeBoer sort of went to him at times, but did nothing. He's going to be a top 5 defender this year. Lockie Whitfield, he's out of my side this week. Just doesn't seem to want to hunt the ball. I feel like he might be carrying a bit of injury concern. He'd come in last week with a bit of injury concern, but I'm not messing around with that. At 502k, you got to be better than pushing out 70s. So I'll be trading him out. Sam Sisley, really good. Not as good as last week, but still an 84. We definitely take that from some guys, 450k. George Hewitt, if you don't have this bloke, try and bring him in as much as you can. He's going to be a top 6 defender playing through that guts. I still think with the full midfield they've got that he'll be playing there again. Gibcus was not looking great. And then that last quarter, he probably scored about 20 points, which really boosted his score. I don't know if I'll be fielding him this week or not. Sam McConing I used as a loophole, and Paddy McCallum was on about 50 at quarter time. He was taking intercept mark after intercept mark, and then sort of died down after that. But you certainly take 80 from Paddy and O'Driscoll, 18 as the sub. Moving on to the midfield, Jack McRae, 142. I'm a bit annoyed in the end that I've vice captained him. I had the captain on Neil and then took McRae's score as you always do. But anyway, really good score from him, and then the vice captain was staying him again this week. Jack Steele really bounced back. Still not a huge score, but still good enough. He didn't get a whole lot of the ball. He just was racking up tackles. I think he had 10 or 11 tackles in the end to get to this score, which was really nice. Tuke Miller just keeps doing what he does best and just racks up the ball, gets a lot of contested possessions. I think at halftime he was on like 90 or something. Just faded out late. No really good signs from him. Lockie Chalky Neal, really good, 198. Captain him this week if McRae doesn't go big tonight, which I'm kind of hoping because he's got North Melbourne. And if he scores 198 against Essendon, what could he score against North? It'd be ridiculous. Cripper, bring this man in. He's a lock this year. Top 8 mid, averaging the 147, which is really good. Really good start to the year from him. Looks really fit. Joe Berry, probably one of the worst picks I've started with. Just didn't pan out how I liked. He looks to be playing that tagging role, which is very unfriendly for Supercoach. Not really good scoring. So I'll be bringing in Matt Rao for him. JHF, really good. Just hunts the pill. He's playing a bit more midfield than what we saw in the preseason. And with Taron Thomas down, maybe that'll open up for even more midfield time, which we'll all like to see. Dacos, still got plenty of the pill, I think only went at like 60%. I think it was 5 or 6 turnovers in there, which obviously didn't help, but still really good selection. Josh Ward, again, had a really good game. I thought the 20 touches and a goal, just butchered it. Didn't get a whole lot of contested possessions and just didn't use the ball very well either. Connor McDonald, really good. Once again, he's going to keep pushing his break even down, so which will create more cash flow. Brady Hoff, depending on the teams listed come out tonight, will depend whether I keep him or a Nathan O'Driscoll. We'll just find out depending on which one's named. Maxi Gorn, I've decided to keep with him. I think He's got Draper this week where he should go humongous. I'm predicting a 140 for the Big Max. He, even though he's splitting the ruck with Jackson, his disposal efficiently hasn't been great. And watching of both the Melbourne games, he's been dropping a few marks that he normally takes. So if he can get the disposal efficiency up and taking them marks that he normally takes, then he'll be right back up into the 105 plus average, I reckon. I still think he'll be a number 2 ruck come into the year. Grundy, good once again. Not great, but good. Certainly good enough. He's going to be the number 1 ruck this year, which will be good to see, hopefully. Love seeing Brady Grundy nice and fit. Hugh Dixon should be back this week. Was out last week with health and safety protocols, so hopefully we see him back in action this week. Josh Dunkley was a bit quieter. He had a big last term. If he kicked a goal and like that, he would have got 15 points because it's in the clutch time. But still, you take 97 from a forward. Zachy Butters, this bloke could be the number 1 forward this year. He's just playing that pure mid-roll, just hunts the ball. The other thing I'm really worried about with Zachy is if he's getting injured because he goes at the ball so hard that he's very injury prone. But hopefully he just sticks at it and stays away from injury. Cogs was really good in the first half. I think he was on 68, if I'm correct, at halftime, and then just faded out like a lot of the Giants did in the second half. Will Brodie, this bloke, he has like 60% game time each week. He just doesn't have the fitness capacity, but he shows that he doesn't need a whole lot of game time to score big. Mind you, Mundy and Fife were out, but Fife's still out for a little while. So just hopefully he can create a lot of cash flow before Fife comes back. Rochelle, quite a week this week. You're not going to expect him to go big and kick 5 each week. But yeah, Jack Hayes, I thought he could have got higher than a 68. Watching the game, he looks really promising. If I was a St Kilda fan, I would not want to drop him. He looks like a real promising player with great jukes, and he's for a ruckman, he's really clean below his knees, which is good for the Saints fans. Sammy Skinner, I didn't watch much of this game as I was out Saturday night. But obviously, great win by the Hawks. And hopefully Skinner can push up those scores because it's out of Gibcus and him. I feel we're going to field through a DPP. And Nick Martin will be back this week, who will be on my field. Moving on to my trade. So McCann will go onto the ground. Neil will go to captain. And first trade will be Lockie Whitfield out. This does probably weaken my defence a bit, but I'm not too fussed about that. Bringing in the man, the myth, the legend, Jakey Bowie. He just looked really good. It looks like he's completely taken over Christian Stanley's role and was sailing him out for a little while. Hopefully he can just produce some with the good scores, hopefully an 85 plus average, which would be really handy. We're going to activate the trade boost here. And then we're going to trade out Jared Berry. Really bad pick for me at the start of the year. I just thought I feel like he can go to back to his form of 2 years ago, but not to be. And in comes in. Where is he? Is he somewhere? Matty Rao. Stewie Jew, I didn't like what he did with him last week. Played him as a tag, which was a bit disappointing. But this really strengthens up my midfield. So you got McRae, Steele, Miller, Neal, Cripps, Rao. Doesn't get much better than that, I don't think, just at round 3. And then we're going to be bringing in, at this stage, O'Driscoll goes out. Skinner goes to the defence. And we're going to be bringing in Tristan Jerry, if that's how you say his name. Really good start to the year for this bloke. Obviously, his break even, what is it? Negative 77, projected to go up 60K. So that's really good signs for early on. But no, I'm really happy with these 3 trades. Obviously, last week I did do the one trade late. I traded out Kane Baldwin for Sam Skinner. And what's the notes on Skinner? Skinner had the 10 touches at 90%. Okay, Mackenzie got subbed out, so he should hold his spot, they're saying, which is really good. But this gives me 82K left in the bank for my first upgrade, which I don't know what it'll be yet. It'll probably be a defender one, just because of how weak my defense is. But I'm happy with them really happy with them. Peeled it D3. I think that's where he'll finish the year. But moving on to who have I got this week? Moving on to the leagues. Heath Shaw I think I've got and then my brother and Milf. So really think I should get up in them. Moving on to players that I'd look to be bringing in the next couple of weeks. Brayshaw I really wanted this week, but obviously can't have them all. Bogue, I still don't think so. I think he always starts the year well and then fades out. Heaney, really good forward option. Just I couldn't get everyone in this week. And Aaron Hall's obviously a really good option. Going off some of the most popular trades this week, I'm going to be rating them. So back to the players. Most trades. Lockie Whitfield being the most traded out player. I understand that. Dusty, yep. Gorn, I can see where you're coming from, but I still won't. If you pick McGovern, I think you have faith in him. Jack Steele, no. Josh Ward, no. He's going to make you money. And trade it in. Cripps, yes. Heaney, yep. Hewitt, yep. All these. If you brought Jackson into the forward line, then yes. Lockie Neal, yes. Stevens, yes. Hall, yes. And Brayshaw, yes. So they're all good trades for all them. So hopefully this week I can push up, score another 2,400 plus and push up into that top 5,000, which would be really nice. Now moving on to my tips for the round. So I was starting with Western Bulldogs and Sydney, I believe. I have tipped Western Bulldogs by goal. I feel like all the hype from Buddy last week is going to really drain out of them, and I think the Dogs will get over the top there just. And I think the storyline of the night will be Bontempelli to have 30 and kick 3. We go on to Dons and the D's easily. The Dons look awful. They had their opportunities against Brisbane last week, but just failed. And then Brisbane, you saw, hit the scoreboard and just ran over them. Crows and Port, I've gone Port. Port should bounce back here and win comfortably. I've got them winning by 32. JWS and Gold Coast. I got the Giants winning this one. They need to bounce back. They're playing an awful brand of footy here. So I've got the Giants winning by 3 points. Collingwood and Geelong, I've got the Cats to bounce back. They weren't really good against Sydney. They just didn't take their opportunities, didn't kick very straight. And yeah, Brisbane versus North, I've got Brisbane winning by 10 goals here. North very likely to get over a very depleted West Coast on the weekend. So I think Brisbane, who are playing a really good brand of footy, should get over the line here. Gun versus Hawks for the game of the round. Up the Hawkers, but no, I think Blues will go 3-0. Go to the top of the ladder, I believe. I think they'll win by about 25 to 30 points, and Cripper to have 30 and kick 2. Saints and Richmond, I've tipped the Saints, but I'm not too confident on it. They were good last week against Freo. The pressure around the ball was really good. If they can start kicking straight, which has been a big issue for a couple of years, and win the games that they should be winning, then they should win this one on paper. But I just don't know. West Coast and Freo, I've gone Freo just with the amount of injuries and COVID-related stuff that West Coast is going on, and Freo need to bounce back. Going over the match review from last week, Carlton versus Dogs, Cripps with the 3 votes with the 2 goals and 35 touches. I thought Matt Kennedy was really good with the goal and 31, and the 1 vote goes to Adam Treloar with the goal and 32 touches. Sydney and Geelong buddies. Kicked his 2000 was unreal. The 3 votes, Isaac Heaney with 5 goals and the 21 touches. We're going to give the big Budwa 2 with the 4 goals, and Brad Close will get 1 vote for his 4 goals and 18 touches. Collingwood and Adelaide. Ben Keys with the 3 votes. I know that they lost. I know. But he had the 37 touches and 9 marks. Jack Ginnivan, 2 votes with the goal and the 21 touches. And then Jack Crisp with 26 touches and 10 tackles with the 2 votes. Moving on to Essendon and Brisbane. I think we all know who's getting 3 votes here. Lockie Chalky Neal with the 2 goals, 2 and 41 touches. Dane Zorko, obviously 2 votes with the 33 touches. And Hugh McCluggage, with his 3 goals and 19 touches. Moving on to Hawks and Port. Mitch Lewis with 3 votes with his 5 goals and 5 goals, 11 touches, 7 marks. I'm going to give the 2 votes to Josh Ward with a goal and 20 touches. And then 1 vote to Tom Mitchell with his 28 touches. Moving on to Gold Coast and Melbourne. Tuke Miller, 3 votes, 38 touches and 7 tackles, even in losing side. Luke Jackson, 3 votes with 2 goals and 21 touches. Tuke Miller, 2 votes with his 38 touches, and Petrarca, 1 vote with his 40 touches. Moving on to North versus West Coast. 3 votes goes to Hugh Greenwood, 29 touches and 10 tackles. 2 votes, Willie Rowley, 4 goals and 18 touches, and then Nick Larkey, 1 vote with his 6 goals. Moving on to Richmond versus GWS. Jaden Short, 3 votes with 33 touches and 10 marks. Noah Bolter, 2 votes with his 4 goals and 10 touches. And then I'm going to give the 1 vote to Hugo Ralph-Smith. He might not set the world on fire, but he really got them going in that first half. Moving on to Freo and St Kilda. 3 votes goes to Josh Battle. I really thought he played a good intercepting role off half-back with the 21 touches, 13 marks. 2 votes, Andy Brayshaw, 40 touches and 10 marks. And then the 1 vote is going to Max King, who really got them going with 4 goals and 11 touches. That's everything for this week, guys. Thanks heaps for tuning in. Hopefully have a guest next week, but it'll still be the same with all the Supercoach content, the round review, and all my tips for the next week. So thanks everyone for tuning in, and see you.